Good day. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. And today we want to talk about Black-owned businesses, Black Wall Street, and the like, and also why your business isn't making money and some things you can do to get started in terms of building a kind of business and infrastructure that allows you to quit your job, have economic success, things like that. So I want to say hi to Terry Cobb from Atlanta. I see you, Terry. Terry comes in here really fancy, always comes in here early. And I hope that you all will give us give a big Black welcome to our guest today, Miss Marye Dean, attorney at law. How you doing today, Marye?
I'm awesome. How are you?
Doing very well, very well. And Marye is aka the Wall Street lawyer. Sorry, the Wall Street, not the Black Wall Street. You are the Wall Street lawyer. And yeah, there we go. And I definitely will I'm going to put all that on the screen for sure in terms so that everybody knows all your URLs and everything. So Marye, first off, I assume you're doing well today.
I am.
Good. And so tell us a little bit about your background, as an attorney, also as a business specialist and things like that.
Okay. Well, hi, everybody. I am Marye Dean Esquire here at thewallstreetlawyer.com. And just like many of you out there, I have humble beginnings from the south side of Houston, Texas, all the way to Wall Street. And one of the ways I got there is really learning how to turn problems into opportunities. I'm all about making money and how to, build wealth and accumulate wealth because wealth is, because it's critical to Black power, right? It's freedom with that. But I believe in co-creating with infinite intelligence. I believe in following God's spirit and allowing that to lead me where I need to go. So that is how I became the wallstreetlawyer.com, turning problems into opportunities, starting out in the south side of Houston, Texas, making it all the way to Wall Street, where I occupied Wall Street, right? And on my sign, it said, "Don't occupy Wall Street, start a business." If you don't believe me, Exhibit A on the back of my sign, I kept it.
Oh wow! Well, now that looks like little font though. Can people read? Were people able to read that? Oh,
yeah,
okay. Don't occupy Wall Street. Start a business.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
So that's, I'm sentimental like that. So I even got my report card from the 5th grade. No, but I kept that from when I occupied Wall Street. And I think it's the sentiment that I have for coming into the Black Power movement. I'm not going to beg massa for reparations. I don't expect my enemy to give me a thing, but I can go out and get it for myself. And so that's why I do entrepreneurship. That's why I believe in building a business. Instead of begging for crumbs, I'll go out here and figure out how to make my own bread so that I can eat. And I think it's very important for me to say that is why I'm also a big fan of Dr. Boyce Watkins and the hashtag #B1 movement, because it was coming along and working with you, Dr. Boyce Watkins, that gave me the self-esteem to say I want to do this for Black people, period. And so that is why that gave me the heart and the confidence, really the confidence to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and that is blackwallstreet.com.
All right.
Yeah.
So and I'm gonna put the URL on the screen, and everybody who just came in, I'm speaking with Marye Dean. She's an attorney, and also she's a business specialist, and she also agrees with being pro-Black. And everybody type the word Black in the chat if you care about Black people and you are okay with doing things for us instead of doing things for everybody else. Put the word Black in the chat, or B1, or Black people, or something, or pro-Black, just something to let me know that you're that it's okay to be Black. Because Marye, a lot of times when people start businesses, we always have people that tell us, how many of y'all let me ask everybody a question in the chat. I'm gonna ask Marye about it too. How many of y'all felt like when you were trying to start a business or trying to do anything, your side hustle, whatever, you heard at least a couple people tell you that if you serve Black people, you're selling yourself short, you're missing your opportunity, you should be doing more. If I go through that, I went through that all the time, Marye. When I created the Black Business School, I was told constantly that, oh, well, why's it got to be the Black Business School? White people want to learn wealth too. And I say, yeah, that's fine. They have a lot of schools where they can learn that, and they're not uninvited to the Black Business School. Just like I'm not uninvited to Harvard, but Harvard is not my school. The Black Business School is our school, right? So I think that this idea of serving our community and putting our people first and really focusing on the needs of our community, that seems to have led to a drain in terms of the resources in the community that we were diluted. We're so busy serving everybody else, we ain't taking care of ourselves. Can you kind of speak to that in terms of your experience? Did you have anybody tell you like, oh, well, why are you focusing so much on Black people? There's more money across the street.
All the time. And I get that from clients all the time. And little do they know, I'm telling y'all my secret, but if you ain't really be one, I don't really want to work with you. And so, because we need our own resources at home, and it's okay to say, I'm going to take care of my house before I want to cater to other houses. But as a corporate attorney who starts companies for people, many people of color, I've had a number of people come to me and they never want, I don't want this. This is not just the Black thing. I don't want to just, because they don't want to alienate other people. Mm. But little do you know, it's so much power in the Black brand. Mm-hmm. And we've seen that now that everything that's Black now is all of a sudden popular. You know, this is a time, this actually pretty cool right now to be B1. And I think you had a lot to do with that movement in the Black community. But when you started, I know it wasn't cool.
No.
I'm going to tell you a story about, I even have a client that I refer to as the Black Bull of Wall Street. And he tells me, when he started on Wall Street, how, because, you know, a lot of the brokers, the brokerages, the brokerage firms, they do a lot of cold calling. And so no one knows what color you are on the other side of the phone. And so you learn a couple of catchphrases. And next thing you know, they think they're talking to another Jewish person on the other line. It's very interesting. Yeah. And doing that, cloaking yourself with the phone so that you can make the sale. I've witnessed clients that have done that. And so I think, it definitely, and I remember when I started on Wall Street, my one question was, are there any Black men down here that don't shine shoes and don't work the elevator?
Ooh.
And at the time, I can't speak today. And even today, there's not a lot of brokerage, brokers on the floor. But even today, the last time I was on Wall Street before the pandemic, there were only 2 brothers who worked the floor.
Wow, are you kidding me?
No.
That's crazy to me.
But I don't, but people have their clubs, and I guess I don't blame you for wanting to hire your brother. It's historically sound that people do business with people that they know, like, and trust. So it makes sense. I think what doesn't make sense is that we are not doing business with one another, and I'm happy to say that I'm happy to be a part of this movement to change that.
Well, one of the things that you made me think about, Mary, was I remember also just kind of just sort of noticing. I flipped the script in my head in terms of the whole racism thing when I started really realizing exactly what you said, that a lot of times people are not trying to exclude us necessarily. They just are trying to include themselves. Yes. They're not thinking about trying to always put us last. They're just putting themselves first. And I mean, if I got a business, I'm gonna hire my cousin before I hire a stranger. I'm gonna hire somebody I understand before I hire somebody I don't understand. And I think that we don't understand that. It seems like we kind of like, oh, you didn't want me because I'm Black. And it's like, no, I don't want you because you're not Italian, or I don't want you because you're not Chinese like me. Right? That's to me something that I think that we don't get. And I want to ask you this question too. Just get into the topic, or the title of the video was just about business. I think that we need more Black-owned business in order to be able to simply do what everybody else is doing. When you have a whole community where everybody's looking for a job, working for a white man, then you have a whole community that is operating on a real slippery slope, that's living on thin economic ice. You don't have no foundation to stand on. You don't have any sort of base to what you're doing. You're
actually signing up to be a slave.
Yes, please elaborate.
Well, so the interesting thing about Wall Street that I did not know was that Wall Street bore its name because it was the original wall that they put up to protect and defend America. So in other words, that was where the country actually started. So you got the George Washington Monument right there on Wall Street, right across from the New York Stock Exchange. And so the interesting thing about that is that the oldest building in America, which is Fraunces Tavern. We say that because that's where George Washington bid his troops farewell. Is where George, it was owned by a black man. He was owned by a mulatto. He was a black, Italian, Portuguese, all these different things. He was a man of African descent owned that place. I said that to say because that's also where initially a lot of the native Aboriginal Americans that look like you and me gathered to come get work. They would literally line up and kind of sharecrop themselves to go work because the people were coming in, you know, trying to build up America, trying to build up things. And people came in there like day workers. They would come out there and stand there and offer their services for the day to go work. But I guess eventually Massa got tired of paying them and just said, you're just going to come work for free. And there you have it. But that's why the African burial ground is also right there. The entire New York City, they say it's buried on our bones, on the bones of black people. Yeah, that's all that history that, you know, being on Wall Street, I was privy to. But it sounds no different today than everybody go stand up and go work for the man because they want to go get some bread. But eventually that man is probably going to take advantage of you if you were constantly just beholden to him.
Yeah. Well, you know, if you don't have any power or options or an economic base, you're very vulnerable. You know, it's like having nowhere to live, you know, and you're going from house to house begging for food. And I feel like economically, that's what we do. We send our children out to beg, you know, because we're not committed to forming an economic base. If you're homeless and you're in the wilderness, your first thing you need to do is find some food and shelter. Like you should put all your energy into building a place that you can live and be safe. And I would say that we're economically homeless. Black people are politically homeless. And I will just tell you that 1.6 trillion, 99% of that 1.6 trillion, give me a yes in the chat, everybody, if you understand what I'm saying. Every penny of that 1.6 trillion should be put toward developing an economic base. That's basic things. You know, we talk about the $5 a day investing plan. Invest that for your kids so your kids can have 100K in liquid wealth when they go out into the world they have to fight. I'm talking about owning a home as soon as you can. I'm talking about starting as many businesses as possible. I'm talking about training each other, training our people to be the best in the world at business, the best in the world at investing. You know, you should never be better at dribbling basketballs, throwing footballs, and rapping than you are at, you know, real estate, owning stock, and starting businesses. We need to make sure that those two things are equal because this other strategy ain't working for us, and we have to shift the culture. Right, we have to re-brainwash ourselves to some extent to get our mind right because we are missing opportunities every day. So I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna get off my soapbox, and I want to pass that ball back to you, Mary. So a lot of us get it. A lot of folks watching right now, they're in that what I call that talented 10. To be honest with you, I put up a study on my page that said that 75% of all people are subject to groupthink, and they said that they will go. Yeah, you said they'll go along with the group even when the group is wrong. So in my view,
Erykah Badu's video about that?
No, she did a video about
Erykah Badu from Texas. All right, these Texas girls be woke. So Erykah Badu has this whole video called Window Seat is the name of the video. And she's riding on the bus, kind of sitting by the window. And she gets out the bus, and she gets off the bus at the grassy knoll, which is where JFK was actually shot. Right?
Wow.
She just starts taking off her clothes. This is a very popular, controversial video when she was trying to get people to understand the term groupthink. So she's just walking down the street, taking off her clothes, showing off her sexy body because you know Badu is banging, and then she gets shot in the head, and out of her head oozes blood, and in the words it says groupthink.
Oh wow, okay, that's deep. Okay, yeah. Okay, well then. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Erykah Badu she is very creative. Yeah. Let's see. Somebody said she got arrested for that. Interesting.
Power to the people.
Well, I'll say this. You know, when I saw that study that said that 75% of people that are subject to groupthink, they will follow the group even if the group is wrong. You know, so when people are saying things like "we're doing this for the culture," but you see lots of toxic behavior, unhealthy behavior, financially irresponsible behavior coming from the culture. Well, 75% of the community, unfortunately, is going to say, oh, well, that's what the culture is doing. I'm going to go along with it, even though I know that these choices are leading to bad outcomes. It's leading, our Black men to be incarcerated or dead. It's leading to many of our women struggling financially and otherwise, right? It's leading to broken families and broken communities, right? So my thing is, I'm looking for that 25%. I'm looking for the 25 percenters. The people that are not subject to groupthink, that will say, no, I'm not participating in that. Even if everybody else says it's right, I know it's wrong. I respect that, because that's how my mother and my father thought. And that's why amongst all the kids I grew up with, almost every single kid I played with on every weekend ended up on drugs, in jail, dead, etc. My sister became a doctor, my brother went to Cornell, and I got a PhD. And the reason that our outcomes were different was because our parents were like, I don't care what everybody else is doing. This is how we're doing things in this house. So I want to talk to you about that. So for those in the chat that already get it, that are already trying to start the business, trying to make their move, trying to level up, what are some thoughts you have in terms of things you've noticed that are keeping the businesses from getting where they want to get to?
You said, what are some things that I've noticed? I'm gonna answer that for everybody that are keeping people from, I hate to, I tell people all the time I'm a one-trick pony. So I always go back to the laws of the universe, coupled with the laws of the land, right? You got the laws of the man and understanding how to move through the world. But I think, especially as far as Black people are concerned, when we really know who we are, and we know how to step into our power, and we know how to master the laws, like the law of gravity. The law of gravity is, whether you understand it or not, it is what it is. And so I truly think that there's magic in melanin. Talk about if y'all want somebody who's gonna talk outside of groupthink, then you have met them. I am all the way in the left field. But I think that there is magic in melanin, and the mindset is everything, right? And so my motto is that in order to manifest abundance, one must understand the co-creation process with infinite intelligence. One must know how to work with God energy. One must know how to speak things into existence, speak life into existence, and know how to walk that walk. And so I talk about that in my book. I go over the laws of the land, but I start with the laws of the universe, because I think that those are so important. The laws of the universe are the most important.
Okay. So now let's talk specifically though with your background as a lawyer. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry, I don't know why my camera went out, but I'm still here in spirit. Okay. There we go. Sorry about that. So let's talk specifically about your background as an attorney, and working with clients and businesses that are trying to make money. You have a whole system on building business and kind of getting your processes in order. And it seems to me that what I like about your system, give me the acronym again. I want to make sure I get it right. LYFT. Yeah, your LYFT system. So let's with assuming the God energy is there and everything else, you also still have to pay your taxes. You still need to set up your systems. You still need to run your operations properly. Can you speak to that in terms of why you developed the LYFT system and why you feel that can help these businesses that are struggling?
Yes, I can. And part of it, so when I get into all of my woo-woo, waha, woo-hoo, meditation, spiritual, the laws of the universe stuff, the laws of the land and my LYFT systems, to me, that is the inner transformational work that you need to do on your business. This is kind of like money church, if you will. This is what it is, right? You got to pay your taxes no matter what. So what can you do in your business to make sure you're paying the least amount of taxes? How do you work with your tax advisor and your bookkeeper? Do you know how to do that? Are you checking these numbers weekly, monthly, and quarterly? And so I go over not just your taxes and not just your legal, but I call them on Black Wall Street, my Black Wall Street LYFT systems, where we go over your legal, your insurance, your financial, and your tax systems that every single business needs to lift that business to the next level. We put that all together in your LYFT corporate binder, which is a binder that every business owner needs to have. And here's the thing about making money. Like, a lot of companies come to me, and a lot of people come to me at different stages of their business, whether they're a very new business, baby business starting out, or an old business doing business and generating revenue. All of these, some of these, not all of them, but many of the businesses have this one thing in common. They know how to generate revenue. They know how to get in the streets and make a dollar. But when it comes to doing the spiritual the inner foundational transformational work on their business, so many business owners are not doing that. People come to me, they don't have a corporate binder. Their corporate binder is not updated. They have some agreements here and there, but they're not all put together in one place where they can go put their hands on it. They're not reviewing these systems every single month systematically and keeping it all updated. And so what happens is it's probably 2 times a year, or two things that will happen that will make someone decide to give these things attention. And the first thing is, it's time to pay taxes. And so you look at your taxes for the whole year at one time. This is how most people run their business, right? Try to get all their receipts together for the entire year, as opposed to looking at this on a monthly and a weekly and a quarterly basis. And the other time that people tend to take some attention to this and give it some, where they look at it, is when they're actually being sued by the court. And once you get into those two, once you get sued by the court, now you want to look at your corporate structure, because now you're in danger of the court doing this little thing that the court likes to call piercing the corporate veil, where they act like your corporation doesn't even exist. And it doesn't exist because your books are not maintained like a corporation. You're not running it like a corporation. You're commingling assets with your private and personal money. So so I can sue you personally. I can still come after your house and your car and your personal bank account, even though you have a business, simply because you're not running the business like a business.
Interesting. Okay. So basically it sounds to me that as an attorney, one of the things that I hear a couple of things that you are able to kind of address that can fill those voids. One is that spiritual side. You talked about the God energy and things like that. I know you're a spiritual woman, which I think is very important. Actually, studies show, especially Black women are the most religious group of people in America. And I think that's for good reason, right? Because Black women go through a lot.
And I say not necessarily religious, even though we are religious, but spiritual.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Spiritual. There we go. And and that's necessary. I think my mama, I see how my mama responds differently to the world when she's got her spiritual juice going, and then there's like that supplement that needs to be there in terms of the technical, that just, how you feel about your business or being inspired about your business also means that you got to sit down and really do the detailed work necessary to maintain that business, which is where that LYFT system comes into play. So legal, insurance, financial, and taxes. And when I heard that acronym, I said, that's really a good acronym, because if you think about where a lot of businesses struggle, it is that legal side. I would argue that anytime you make a certain amount of money, there's a good chance you could end up with some legal challenges or, lawsuits and things like that. And you have to be ready for that. And people don't talk about that enough. They talk about the money, big balling, and living your dream.
Can I chime in here? Can I throw something in there when you talk about those lawsuits? But that is what insurance is for. I'll never forget the time I was in high school. Like I told y'all, I'm from the south side of things. I went to high school at Worthing High School. I did. Donated a mural to Worthing High School, my name on the wall, but I digress. I remember when it was prom, and we had rented a car, and we were all, dolled up in our prom gear on the back of the car, being bougie and stuff. And I think somebody bust the windows out the car when we went inside or something like that. And I was so distraught. I kept telling my aunt, I can't believe they did this. They done bust the windows out the car. What is we gonna do? What is we gonna do? This is not our car. This is a rental car. She said, girl, stop crying. We got insurance on the car. But that's what insurance is for. It gives you that peace of mind in your business that if somebody can be sued, who cares? The insurance company that's what you pay a minimum amount of insurance for, so that you're protected in those arenas, whether it's your employees, whether it's your vendors, whether it's, general contractors, whoever it may be. So
Mm. Okay, so well, well, I'll say this. In general, when you're talking about systems, one of the things I would say to everybody in here is that the best thing to teach, or when you talk about kids learn how to make money, things like that, systems are always coming into play. And so if you talk about that word systems, because LYFT is a system. When I think about systems our kids are introduced to, they're introduced to the system of white supremacy. That's a system. They're introduced
School
to
system,
the
the
school
school to
system.
job pipeline system.
Yeah, right. The educational system, the criminal justice system, systems of media, also the economic system. There's an economic system out there, and then there are other systems, like even systems when they play sports, they play football. There's a system for that. There's a system for basketball. So my question that I would ask anybody in here is, what is your system, and what system are you teaching your children that is to their benefit? Because the educational system is not to your child's benefit. White supremacist system is not to your child's benefit. Criminal justice system is not. The economic system is not. The systems of media and entertainment are not to your child. So, what system do you have in place that's designed to help you win? Systems are like in mathematics, like formulas. With a formula, you have an independent variable and a dependent variable, meaning you put something in and something comes out, right? So, like if I say, for example, this is some basic math, y'all. So stick with me for a second. I'm gonna be quiet. I want the ball. I'm gonna pass the ball to Mary. If I say x plus 2 equals 4, or let's say x plus 2 equals 6. Let's do that. X plus 2 equals 6. So what is x, Mary?
4.
Right.
X plus 2 equals 6.
Yeah.
Okay, 4. 4 plus 2 equals 6.
Right. So I could change. So let's say I did an equation similar to that, and I said x plus 2 equals y. So let's say I change y to 100. Well, then x plus 2 equals 100 means x would have to be 98, right? So,
Mhm.
so that's a formula. That's a basic equation. So x is what I put in, y is what I put out. That's literally a system. That's a mathematical system. So the reason I talk about systems here, and I think LYFT is a great system, is that you want to have some sort of system such that you can put something in, and the thing that comes out of it is what you want. Like the educational system, for example, can be defined mathematically to say we put black children in, and illiterate people come out, right? Little young
Got
thugs,
that system down pat.
right? Thugs and gangsters come out, employees come out. That's the system, right? The white supremacist system. You put a human being in it. Successful white people come out. Poor black people come out, right? So my point to everybody is black people is we got to learn how to have our own systems. Like even when I'm doing these podcasts and interviews and teaching classes and all that's built on a system. I have a big elaborate system around my whole business that where I put something in and then something comes out at the end. So with LYFT, and I want you to go. I want to give that back to you, Mary. I didn't mean to talk so long about it, but I really like that idea of thinking in terms of systems, because systems also can allow you to automate your business so that you're actually making money without doing all that labor, right?
That's what I was just going to say, that this system, like you say, you have already built a system with Dr. Boyce Watkins brand where you put this in and this comes out because you've done it systematically over and over again. And let's be clear, everybody out there who's starting a business and building a business, that is the goal of your business. Your goal, that's all your business is. Your business is a combination of your brand and your systems. Does McDonald's have the best burgers in the world? No, your grandmama do. But McDonald's has one of the best systems. Was one of the first ones to create a system for delivering the same nasty millions of burger to the same people all around the world, with even an illiterate child doing in the kitchen doing it. That's the systems that they have mastered. And that is what I've created these systems, right? That go over your legal, insurance, financial systems to help you with those systems to put into your systems. I've systematically created systems to help you build systems around your brand so that you can systematically do your thing over and over and over again. Your business should run like a clock.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Run like a clock. You need to get some predictability in your business, because if you're going to sell your business, that's all you're selling. You're selling the brand and your system for delivering your product over and over and over again that you've mastered. That's your sauce for
your business should run like a clock. I think that is a great a great closing point, in our discussion. And I want everybody to kind of get that. A lot of times we start business and it just becomes a glorified job, and we end up still working ourselves into an early grave. And and that those pieces on automation or scaling don't kick in, so you're just sort of pushing the rock up the hill, for the rest of your life. And that's if you're lucky. That's if you're lucky enough to buy yourself out of your job, right? And so what I would say is that, when I talk to my kids about money, the number one thing I say to them is, when they say, well, what profession should I choose? I'm like, well, you really don't have to choose a profession, to be honest with you. I say, really, I want you to have financial security so you can be safe and economically safe enough to be happy and pursue happiness. And then I say, figure out a system. Find your system, create your system that allows you to make money. If you understand money, it's easier to create a system doing almost anything that will generate the revenue or the income that you need in order for you to fulfill your personal goals. We don't talk enough about systems in our families. I think if I had it my way, if I had a whole school system to myself, Mary, I would teach every single Black child in this country how to develop systems with delegation and with delegation and automation. Those two things that's where those $100,000 a month people come from. Those $1 million a month people come from. They don't come from labor. So to close out, blackwallstreet.com is your website, and that's where people can learn more about your LYFT system. Did you have any parting thoughts as we
register for? We're doing a webinar at the end of the month on May 25th at buildblackwallstreet.com. Yes, they can register there, find out more information there as well. So if you want to register for that webinar, where I'm going to do a deep dive. I'm taking people because it's also around the Black Wall Street, the bombing of Black Wall Street. So I'm kind of taking all the webinars that I've ever done and kind of pulling them all together into something mega week. I'm real mega weekend, a mega course. But I want to make sure you walk away that you all have a business, that you know. If you don't, where you want to incorporate your business, who, what, where, when, how. A lot of people do. Should I do Nevada, Delaware? Why? What? Should I have an LLC or an S corp or a C corp? And what's the difference and why? Do I have to do it in my home state? Those kind of questions. We get those questions answered for you, as well as making sure you have a business. Because see, when you go through my LYFT course, it's not about starting the business. It's about incorporating those LYFT systems so that business can flourish and grow.
Yes, well, I love it. So buildblackwallstreet.com is where you can join Mary for her free webinar that she's going to do on this topic. I can't make that particular day because I have something else I have to do that day. But the Black Business School is supportive of this, and I will be a part of this because I believe in exactly what Mary's talking about. You gotta understand these systems, people. I'm telling you. That will make a difference in your life. If you learn how to systematize things, if you can't do it, that's okay. Just get with somebody who can help you. And Mary can help you. Mary's got a law degree. I love talking to my lawyer friends because lawyers just naturally, the good ones anyway, naturally understand business because business and law intersect a lot. It reminds me of Mary. It reminds me of like how rappers and athletes always become friends. Like Tupac was buddies with Mike Tyson. Jay-Z is friends with people like LeBron James, and you'll see a basketball game where Drake is hanging out with Kevin Garnett or something, or not Garnett, Durant. And it's like there's a natural overlap. So business and law are connected, and I would encourage everybody to take the time to learn these things. Also, every Black child in our community should go to business school on some level, some basic understanding, nothing fancy. In China, I saw tens of thousands of business owners, and really none of them formally went to business school. They just all had family culture that taught them how to create a product, serve a customer, get your income, and move on. Because the jobs weren't available like they are here. So thank you very much, Mary. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right. And everybody, if you could, please hit the thumbs up button on your way out. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Share, subscribe. I'm speaking with Marye Dean. If you'd like to join her for her special event, which is in a few weeks. What's the date, Mary?
May 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard.
Okay, so that's in 2 weeks, May 25th. Go to buildblackwallstreet.com. It's totally free and Black Business School supported, and I can't wait to see the result. So thank you, Mary, and thank you, everybody. Have a good day. Be one to everybody in the building, and I'll be back a little bit later. Don't forget that tonight the book club meets. So if you're in the Dr. Boyce Book Club, you can join us. We're doing Powernomics training. It's free to the community. If you haven't joined, you can go to boycewatkins.com after you go to buildblackwallstreet.com, and you can sign up for the book club. All right, everybody, have a good day. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Thank you.